So welcome to the Modlin Question Bank virtual tour. As you can see, we are on the home page of the product, and on the home page we have various different tabs or buttons. The first one is using the CD, and I'm showing you now how to use the CD. To do that, you simply click on the virtual tour, which you must have already done correctly if you're watching this virtual tour. The other thing we have on this home page is Contact Us. If you click on Contact Us, that will simply send us an email of whatever your query is, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Now, the next most important thing for you to know about this whole CD and how to use the CD all sits in the tab or button called Question Bank Center. So let's click on Question Bank Center. When you click on Question Bank Center, you are given two options. The first option is that you can compile your own assessment. The second option is that we have pre-made assessments already for you, where there's nothing for you to do but simply take one of them for your class. Let's start looking at how we compile our own assessment. To do this, you simply click the Continue button. When you click the Continue button, you will see that various subjects come up and various grades. So we have mathematics, natural science, and numeracy, and we have these in various different grades. Now, if you need to compile an assessment in mathematics, what you do is you click on mathematics, and when you do that, you will see that it highlights red. The next thing that you do is you go to your drop-down menu, and you select the grade that you want to compile your assessment in. So we're going to select grade 4. After doing that, you can decide how you want your assessment. Do you want an assessment where you can choose between topics and units, or do you want to compile your assessment with learning outcomes and assessment standards? What we're going to do first is generate this by unit and topic. Notice when I click that it goes red. So we are compiling a mathematics assessment in grade 4 by unit and topic. All we do now is click the next button. When we click the next button, a few seconds will elapse, and what comes up now are all the units and all the topics in mathematics grade 4. So let's have a look here. What we've got over here is calculator skills, and you may want to include some calculator skills in your assessment. How do you do this? You simply click inside the radio button, and that will bring adding and subtracting into your test. And you may decide you want to include 2 medium questions, 1 easy and 1 difficult. Then you may want constant function in your assessment, so there you can also customize what you want. You can have 2. There's also a 0, meaning you don't have to have every type of question. You can just have easy ones. You don't need to have medium or difficult. And so you go down your list selecting what you want, and all you simply do is you go from unit to unit. The next unit is counting. All the topics in counting are listed. Let's choose counting in groups. And you scroll down choosing what you want in your assessment. Once you've done that, you simply click the next button. You wait a second or two, and what happens now is that the actual assessment pops up on the screen. So here is your first question on calculator skills. It's adding and subtracting. And you can click on View Answer, and that will give you the solution or answer or tip or rubric for that particular question. Now remember, if you don't like the question, you don't want to include this question in your test, what you can do is simply refresh the question. If you click refresh, it will simply replace the question with a new one for you. So if I click refresh, notice it highlights that we refreshed it, and it will give us an alternative option if there are other questions available. If you don't like the question at all, you can simply remove it, and that question will disappear altogether, and now you can see you're looking at a totally different question now on calculator skills within adding and subtracting. So you can go through every single question in this way. You can decide to keep it. You can view the answer. If we click View Answer, there's your answer to that question. If you don't like it, you can refresh that question again. You'll see when you refresh it, it will give you a new question, or you can simply remove it, and removing it means it will go away altogether. Once you've done that whole process, you can go to the bottom of the test, right at the bottom of the screen, and you can simply click on Next. The next part of the process is where you decide the output type that you want. So you can create an assessment either as an interactive on-screen assessment, and that on-screen assessment can be with answers or without answers. Or you can create a PDF document out of this test, simply photocopy it and give it to your class. Again, you can have it with answers or without answers. Let's click with answers. So if we have with answers, we'll have a PDF assessment with answers. And now we can also customize the details of the assessment. Is this an examination? What is it? We can make it homework exercise. We can type in a mark allocation, so we can put in 45 marks or 45 minutes. The school name, we can just say test, and you can customize this teacher name. We can type in the word test, class 2A, and then you can give your instructions to your class, whatever those instructions are, and you can simply save all this information. Once you're happy with the information, you click Save, and that saves your assessment into the folder of the month that you're working in, which happens to be March. In March, we've made up an assessment for Mathematics Grade 4, and you can see we've made this a homework test class 2A, and two versions of that assessment are saved for you. One, which is just the marking memorandum or the rubric, and the other one is the entire assessment. So if we click on the actual assessment, here is the assessment that we've made up. Each question is given to you, and if you simply go back to your saved assessments, you can click again, and you will see that you just have the marking memorandum this time to the actual questions. Why we do that is because you may want to have questions and answers separated, some for learners and some for teachers. The learner version will be without the answers, and the teacher version will be with the answers. So going back to Question Bank Center, what we've done here is we've compiled our own assessment. Let's go back here. The other option that you have here is you could go Mathematics Grade 4, and what you could do now is you could again generate it by unit and topic, but when you get to the final step, let me show you one alternative. Let's just click a few of these, scroll down to the bottom, and what we do now, when we scroll to the bottom, let's finalize our assessment. Let's go to that finalized page. At this point in time, you could have an on-screen assessment, so you click on screen, then you click with answers. Again, you could customize it, click save, and then once you've saved it, you'll see you have another test in there that you have saved. Let's go to our save tests. There's the new one that we've just saved, and this time it'll be an on-screen interactive assessment that you have for your class, where your class can do it on the screen in the media center. So you have two options. Either you can have it as a PDF or you can have it as an on-screen. The other alternative is your pre-made assessments. Here these are Word documents. You simply click on Continue. Again, you select your grade, like Grade 4 Mathematics, and when you click Next, it will simply list for you all the different worksheets and tests you have in Grade 4. If we click the first one, it will simply launch an actual Word document. What's nice about this is that you can actually modify, change, delete. If we want to delete things in this document, we can simply delete it. We can make up our own questions, we can save the document, and in fact we can make up our own tests using the starting point as these particular questions. So very simple. All you do there is you would actually go back to your program and you go into Question Bank Center, pre-made assessments, click Continue. You simply select your subject like Natural Science, Grade 6, go Next, and then you'll have all your Natural Science worksheets, and it's as simple as that. So we've shown you now how to use your Question Bank Center to compile your own assessment or pre-made assessments. One more thing to show you and compile your own assessment is that if you go, for example, to Numeracy Grade R, and you want to generate your assessment using learning outcomes and assessment standards, you can do that as well, simply by clicking on the learning outcome and assessment standard. If you go next, you will notice that you don't have units and topics anymore, but you have the learning outcomes and assessment standards. So you can now create an assessment where you are including specific learning outcomes and assessment standards, and again you can choose easy, medium or difficult questions, and all you do now is you go next, and it will generate an assessment for you by learning outcome and assessment standard. You can see that learners can actually type in answers here, and this would be an interactive version of an assessment. So this works exactly the same way as all the others, except you have generated your assessment by learning outcome and assessment standard. You also get the same screen where you can customize it, you can choose with or without answers on screen or PDF, and you can then save your assessment, and you'll see now that we have a numeracy grade R assessment with the memorandum and also just the actual examination, which you can hand out to your class. And really it's as simple as that. So what we've shown you now is how you can compile all the different types of assessment as well as pre-made. Another really nice feature of the product is that you have a calculator on the screen at any point in time. And you can see there are two versions of the calculator. Here is your scientific calculator, where if you go view, it's already on scientific. If you click standard, then you've got your standard calculator. So you can move this around the screen. You can make calculations. 78 divided by 78 equals whatever it equals, which is 1. And this will help you solve any problem that you need help with while you're either constructing or doing those assessments. So that is your calculator. The next part of the product is your reports. If any learner does reports and you click on reports, it will give you a breakdown of how the learner has done in all their assessments. So for example, mathematics grade 4, we did an assessment on 31 January. If we click on that, it will give you a breakdown of that learner's results. It was an assessment on shape, and within shape every topic is listed, and NC is the number of correct questions, NP is the number of possible. So this will give you the result broken down by topic as a percentage, and then overall your percentage of the entire assessment. And these ones are marked automatically by the computer, provided you give it to your class as an interactive on-screen assessment. So we've seen how the reports work, we've seen the saved assessments, we've seen the question bank center. The About Us simply tells you about our company. It gives you our email address and our phone number. Contact Us also gives you the same information. The next part is a very important part, which is the assessment information. Here we're providing you with all the national curriculum statements. If you click Mathematical Literacy grade 10 to 12, you will see that a PDF document of that national curriculum statement will be provided to you. If we click back on assessment information, we can click on our subject assessment guideline. That will give you all the subject assessment guidelines for all the subjects and learning areas on this particular CD. So everything is at your fingertips. The next thing we have in assessment information are the learning program guidelines. You simply click on any of the learning program guidelines, and once again you'll get the learning program guidelines for all the different learning areas. And then we've given you a whole lot of past examination papers and memoranda from overseas international tests as well as national examinations. So for example, if we click on Australia, we can see chemistry exams from 2002 all the way to 2008. If we click 2008, it'll give you the mid-year and various different exams. If we click on that, here is your chemistry 2008 written examination in Victoria. If we go back there and we go to the last part, which is your national examinations, we can click on mathematics, and you can see we click on the year 2007. We've got the papers and the marking memoranda. So we click on paper 2. Here is the examination, 2 hours, the National Senior Certificate 2007 examination. So that is really a quick run through of the whole CD. Running through it quickly again, you've got your using the CD. Here you can look at the virtual tour or contact us. Your assessment information are all these PDF documents of past exams and guidelines. Your question bank center, where you can either make up your own assessment or pre-made. Your reports are where all the actual reports of your learners are stored. Your saved assessments are where all the assessments you've made up are saved. And the About Us and Contact Us is straightforward. So we wish you a lot of luck with using the CD. It's a really powerful tool, and we hope that you enjoy it.